Good morning. Welcome to Holly Tree Manor. Yesterday was one of those days where I had a little bit of this to do and a little bit of that to do, and before I knew it, it was midday. So then last night I was sitting at the computer and I looked at all these little clips and I thought, well, just go ahead and put it together. If people want to watch, great. So that's what I did, and that's what we've got here this morning, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So all I can say is thanks for coming along with me while I get through the morning. With the winter coming on, I had to take some time, sit down with my canning books, and make a list of everything that sounded delicious to me. What I like to do is make some soups and stews and things, pressure can them. A lot of the recipes make 6 or 7 quarts. Well, 7 quarts is 14 meals for me now that I'm on my own. So I went through my canning books and can't show you anything because of copyright, but in this book, there's Southwestern hummus, butternut squash and white bean soup, white bean and chard soup. Now, they all sound like possibilities to me. From the Amish canning cookbook, there's chili, tomato soup, a chicken soup base, beef stew. Well, I really should scratch that off because I've already made beef stew. Black bean soup. I made that once. It was very good. I want to make it again. And that'll make like 7 pints, which is that's perfect. That's 7 meals. Cook once, eat 7 times. And pork stew. I tried that too, and it's pretty good. It's not as good as the beef stew, but it's acceptable. Another book I have is this one. And from this one, there's black bean chili, Indian lentil curry, which I wrote that down, but I'm not real sure about it. White bean and sausage stew. I think that's my first up. Beef barbacoa and Moroccan chicken. And from this one, chicken corn soup, which I really don't need a recipe for that because I've been making chicken corn soup for years. Chicken stew, quick and easy tomato soup, south of the border chicken soup. Now that sounded really good. Spicy cordito, which is a ferment, which I've never really fermented anything. I would have to get the little toppers and the weights and everything, but it's a possibility. So that's what I did this morning with my coffee. I sat down and looked through my books to see what my canning projects are going to be over the next probably 3-4 months. With winter coming on and there's nothing to do outside because it's cold and the weather turns bad and I'll be inside. If I'm inside, I might as well do something productive. And if I do a lot of canning this year, which, I mean, these are a lot of little recipes, and I actually, if I do all of them, which I doubt if I do all of them, but I probably have enough jars to do at least half of them if I decide to do that. But it really is, it's a cook once, eat several times kind of deal. Not only, it's just easy. When you're living on your own, if all you have to do is open a jar and heat it up for dinner, that's a lot easier than trying to make yourself, chicken and vegetables and some kind of fruit. To me, it's just a whole lot easier to open the jar and heat it up. So that was something else that I had to get done so I could make up my mind. And now that that's finished, I guess I need to get on with my day. The first thing I had to do this morning, as far as outside work, was add some extra string along the deer barriers. I come out and check what's in the garden every morning, and somebody was in there and got to the strawberries. This does not make me happy. I've been thinking that, to beef up the deer barriers, that I needed to build a couple more. I've been told that deer do not have very good depth perception, so I was thinking of putting something smaller in between the spaces, but maybe out a little bit, that when I'm ready to mow, all I have to do is just pick it up and move it, and it won't be very heavy. But because of the depth perception, that it would look more substantial than what it is. One of the YouTube channels that I used to watch all the time was called Living Traditions Homestead, and they built a chicken moat, which was a double fence. Fence was spaced about 6 foot apart, and inside this fence, inside the moat, they had their chickens, but inside the whole fence, they had their garden and their orchard, and they planted berries and everything, and the deer never got into it. So I'm kind of pondering what I can do for next year, and we'll just see. We'll see where it goes. And yeah, there it is. They nibbled on the cucumbers too, that I just planted and just sprouted like a week or so ago. So I'm not real happy with them right now, and I think I need to call my brother-in-law. He always gets a deer stamp for the year to hunt. I think I need to tell him to come down here and park himself right in my driveway. I got a nice big buck for him. I might only have one antler, but he won't care about that because he's going to make deer bologna. And I think that would be just the ticket for that buck that's running around here, because he's the one I've seen at the garden. He needs to go. I think Deuce wants to go too. Do you want to go for a ride or something? Well, it can't happen. We can't get out. They're working on the bridge today. They've got a dump truck sitting right down on top of it. We can't get out. Yep, he wants to go, and I'm real sorry about that, but it is not going to happen for a while. I'm going to harvest the rest of the basil and get it drying on the dehydrator. I've already made all the pesto that I'm going to need for the coming year. It smells amazing. Some of this is dark opal basil, which is very pretty in the garden. Tastes the same, use it the same as regular sweet basil. It just adds a bit of attractiveness to the garden. Once the basil's dry, I'll put it in a mason jar and use a vacuum sealer to seal it. Put in a moisture absorber, and it'll stay good on the shelf for quite a while. The last of the basil for this year. Since I know that the basil is clean, I never had any chemicals or anything put on it, I'm just going to pick off the leaves, put them on the dehydrator trays, and start it to run. Now when I do my dehydrating with this, I'll put it on low, and it'll probably be Wednesday until it's really done. But I just like to run it on low. That's just my choice. And I'll just keep going till all the leaves are picked off. When I'm doing these things, since I'm new to making videos, I always forget to say things like, when you're pulling the leaves off, you want to examine them and only use the best leaves. You want to make sure that you don't get any little tiny insects in there either. And if you have something that's started to get a flower on it, just snap the flower off and discard it. And see, I'm just so used to doing and not talking about it as I do it, I forget to say that. But yeah, you want to examine the leaves as you pull them off so that you're getting good ones and that you're not getting any little worms or bugs or anything that you really don't want to dry and have in your dried basil. I'll just keep going till I'm done. What are you doing? Yeah, I see it laying over there. There's your Frisbee. Why don't you get it? You don't know what you want to do with it, do you? Another thing that's going on today of my odds and ends is finishing up a batch of homemade yogurt. And that's made in the Instant Pot, it's real easy to do. This Instant Pot has a yogurt setting. You just put the milk in, boil it to kill off the cultures in the milk, let it cool. Then you add your choice of Greek yogurt, about half a cup to use as a starter. Then you you can do it for 12 hours or 24 hours. When it's done, you put it in a colander. I line my colander with coffee filters, quick and easy. And then you just let the liquid drain out of it till it gets to be the consistency that you like. And then you just put it in airtight containers, put it in the fridge, and you have homemade yogurt. I think it's a lot better than what you buy in the store. Once you've got it started, you just save a little bit back and use that to start your next batch. Never have to buy yogurt again unless you want to start over with maybe a different flavor. But anyway, that's something else that's going on here today, my day of odds and ends. We'll get this put into storage containers and we'll move on to the next little project. Next up on my day of doing odds and ends, frying up a little bacon so that we can put it in the fridge and have it put on top of salad, sprinkle on top of some soup, whatever we want to do with it. We might even have a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich as a last hurrah on the tomatoes this year. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. So while doing my daily chores, I come across a question that I've always had. Why is it that a dog will go to his food dish scoop up a mouthful of food, come over in front of your chair, and spit it out. What's he doing? Saving it for later? Doesn't he know I'm just going to vacuum it up every morning when he does this, and he's lost it? I don't know. He's a funny little dog, but I love him. I love him this much. Sorry if you were saving that snack for later. It's too late.